Making news in print and online this morning. We're joined by podcaster Kristen Diprose from Warrnambool this morning. How terrific to have you come and join us, Kristen.
Good morning, Lisa. It's wonderful to be here. I wish I could show you beautiful Warrnambool, but of course it's too dark, but maybe in the summer.
Hey, I'm so glad we're kicking off with this first story because you're on the land. You know the risk that foot and mouth pose and what would happen if it got into Australia. I'd love to get a sense of what people are saying around you.
Yeah, look, it's huge. A lot of people, down at the shops, at the pub, we're all really concerned about foot and mouth disease, and it's good to see it on the front page. I mean, it's not a good news story. Obviously, the news is that viral fragments have been detected. There's been in pork products in Melbourne, and also there's been a detection in beef products coming in from Indonesia at an Australian airport, which is not welcome news, and it sort of sends shockwaves around farming communities. And I even sort of jumped myself when I saw these headlines and then read further and went, no, it's viral fragments. We're not talking about a live virus. We need to remember that it takes, that the virus is only live for up to 24 hours. And so these are just viral fragments. But indeed, communities are really, really concerned because of what it means. We keep hearing this headline of $80 billion, hit to the economy if we were to have foot and mouth disease come into the country. And that's certainly true, but I like to think about it in terms of an individual farm business and the hit that would mean. So, I mean, if you were to have it on your business, that's, you're looking at culling livestock, you're looking at perimeters around your farm, and then even if you're not, affected in terms of it being on your farm, the whole industry is affected because surely prices would drop. You've got to understand how big export is for us in Australia, for us livestock producers. It's 70% of our, meat that we produce goes overseas. And so if we get foot and mouth disease, countries won't want our meat, and that's going to have huge knock-on effects. So that's why it's so scary, and that's why everyone's talking about it. But again, I also want to, don't want to emphasise it being, sort of that be alert but not alarmed, in that, look, it's in Indonesia, we know it's in Bali, and we know that's a high traffic area, but the virus itself only lives up to 24 hours, and it's got to come in, it can come in on clothes, through products, on your shoes, obviously, but then it's got to have a direct contact with an animal to then get into the system. So there is a complicated chain that needs to happen. It's certainly possible. We need to be mindful of these things. And certainly the next step was taken yesterday by the Agriculture Minister, looking at sanitation mats for travellers to walk through. So it's good to see that people are finally listening and acting on this, but I do think we also need to just not get too carried away at the same time.
Hey Kirsten, some of the big states have had problems attracting teachers, keeping teachers, and on the front page of The Australian today, there's a headline that says, students to plug teacher shortage. What type of students are they talking about?
I know, it's a good headline, isn't it? You immediately imagine a year 11 coming in to teach their own class. But they mean university students, of course. But teacher trainees starting out in the classroom as a kind of, prac or para teacher from as early as 6 months into their course is the proposal. So at the moment, teacher trainees usually don't get into the classrooms and do that prac work until their final year. So this is, of course, trying to help plug some of those gaps that COVID and then, of course, the flu outbreak is really exacerbating. And this is being floated by sort of New South Wales and Victoria education ministers are really taking charge on this, and it's being considered by, education ministers across the board. There's talks with universities such as the University of Sydney about whether, this can happen. And I mean, it's an interesting idea. Look, nurses certainly get into the hospitals quite early on in their university degrees. But I think, there is a broader issue there when it comes to teachers. And, we love our teachers, but the pay is often said to be not good enough. The workload is high. We know burnout's a problem. And the professional status, should be raised. And you asked any parent, including myself, and I would say we love our teachers and we want our classrooms to stay open.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Kirsten, I've got to do it. It's noise. It's different. It's unusual and it's fabulous. Take it away.
Nice work, Lisa. Yes, Kath and Kim is reuniting for their 20th anniversary, and this is a bit of an exclusive by the Age and Sydney Morning Herald, who have got wind that they are filming at the South Melbourne studios a one-off special. So it's not a new series. Apparently they're putting together some sort of special, I know, involving, you know, the best of, some rare footage and some new sketch material, which, you know, the whole cast is there working on right now. It should be hitting our screens at the end of the year. Not sure what broadcaster though. ABC, Seven and Netflix are all contenders. Word on the ground is that Seven's likely to have the jump, but really exciting stuff to have it back, and I don't care where it is. I'll be watching and I'll be dressed tizzied, Lisa.
Oh, and I'll be cracking open the Chardonnay just for the occasion. Hey, that's great news. Thanks for bringing it to us, Kirsten. Have a great day.
Thank you.